adjusted our mics, now they can hear it. Otherwise, he had to be right up on it. So.
Oh.
Will you leave that? We're ready. Okay, great. Okay, I'd like to call the meeting of the Madera County Arts Authority to order and welcome everyone today. We have a couple people in our staff out here in the audience, so thank you for coming. And I believe we're going to have Jim Core on Zoom today, or no, not Zoom, WebEx, but I see his name here. So welcome, Jim, and welcome everybody. Ray, would you lead us in the flag salute today?
Okay.
Thank you. Are there any additions to the agenda?
There are no additions.
Okay, thank you. Is there any public comment during this time if someone has an item that's not on the agenda, wants to make comment? Hearing none. We'll move on to the public session. Consideration of approval of the minutes for August 23rd, 2021. Is there any comment from the audience about the minutes? Anything from the board, or is there a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion to approve.
Second.
Been a motion and a second?
Second.
Any other comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have the treasurer's report. Mr. Poitras has two items, and we can act on those with one motion after he does his presentation. So, Mr. Poitras?
Excellent, thank you. So if you take a look at the treasurer's report, there's a balance sheet ending 10/25/21. It shows that we have almost $75,000 in the bank. And that is our only asset, and our only liability is accounts payable of $528.18. The income statement ending 10/25/21 is actually from the beginning of our organization when we collected funding. So that shows that $141,000. We've spent since that time $60,000 on the contract labor, and then another little over $6,900 in legal and professional fees. And so we still have $74,757.54, which corresponds to the cash in the bank, as well as our statement from the bank. So we have that, and then the second item is a invoice from Lozano Smith for services, legal services, professional services, in the amount of $528.18. So that is the report. Are there any questions?
Does the board have any questions about the report? Hearing none. Are there any questions or comments from the audience? Okay, I'll bring it back up here to the board. I just want to question the legal fees are over 2 months, right? An hour a month for 2 months. Okay. Okay.
You mean the invoice?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see that our legal fees have reduced now that we seem to have a rhythm about us.
Yes, and I do have a staff report later on the agenda, and so on that, but I won't do it now,
Okay.
just so.
Oh, okay.
But they should be going down to almost nothing, just the meeting and reviewing of the agenda. So my goal is the next month is going to be under $200 this
Okay.
month. Yeah.
Great. Thank you. Okay. If there's no other questions, comments, is there a motion to approve the treasurer's report, item 1 and 2?
I so move.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second by Mr. Seibert. Any other comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, our continuing item, 4C, is discussion and hopefully consideration of the Arts Authority logo design, and hopefully to provide some direction or approve of the proposed logo. So welcome back. Our
Hello, hello.
logo artist is here, and he has submitted several options. If you have your packet, you can go by packet page number if you have a particular comment or want to propose one for the group's discussion. Is there, anybody want to leap out? Is that one in there?
So these three are the last three that I had, and so
Okay.
this one was the different styles. Instead of gradient, having a more defined separation of colors.
I like that.
Yeah, so we have version 1, version 2, and the real difference is going to be the shape of the swash there, so on the paintbrush itself. And then I brought my laptop today so that way we can decide if we want to do different colors. I have up in the corner there county's primary colors and secondary colors that they use for their branding.
Oh, shoot, I'm sorry.
But from last time, I do have the new script that was decided on the County Arts Authority there, and then each piece is can individually be colors can be changed.
Yeah, I like the one you got on the screen right now.
I do too. Are there, anybody else?
I'm okay with what I'm looking at on the screen, which is 2 shades of blue, white, and black.
How about the one with the UCLA colors?
We don't like UCLA.
That's not UCLA.
No, that's that one.
Oh, that one.
That's UCLA colors. Or Chargers, one of the
Yeah.
two.
Yeah, the courthouse is too faded on that one, I think.
Yeah, that was
Yes.
the gray and that secondary colors there.
Mhm.
Yeah. I like the sharpness of the objects that you show in the first one. It's easy to see the sort of shape of the pieces that represent the arts. That stands out. The courthouse stands out.
Okay.
You know, the last time we met, there was a suggestion from the audience that, using Madera County colors. Are you able with your laptop to, on the mask, to adjust the white side, use some of the green palette color, just give us an idea?
So you're saying, okay, so underneath, so like I don't have that in particular, but I can add a object real quick. Because you're looking at the top one.
I'm looking at the mask off to the left of
Mhm.
Fort
And,
Building,
and you're thinking green just on the inside of there?
just on the
Okay.
white half, or even just the
Yeah,
the
that'd
white
be,
eyebrow or the white side of, just to get some green in there for it.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Agriculture.
some different colors, yeah, that'd be great.
Gosh.
There it is. So you're like something like that, but just in the mask area, or
Yeah, or mask or the white
or
eye or half of the mouth.
all right, let's.
Add some green, and the green could even be in the musical note off to the right. To get
So-
some green in there.
Okay. Let's do this. So what if we do the underside of the brush? So that way all that's underneath it, it's green. And I'll clean this up later. So essentially from the brush end or like from the courthouse base all the way through the brush cutouts that be all green like that.
Makes it hard to makes
Yeah.
it hard to see that
No.
figure on top, the dancer.
You want only green in the mask, right?
Either the green in the mask in some way, or the musical note off to the right. That would be the only green.
Okay.
It wouldn't be prominent, but it would be there, and obviously because of the brightness of the green, it would be recognizable.
Yeah. For that rectangle. Messing with layers
Put
here.
it along the bottom there, County Arts. They got lawn underneath the courthouse.
Yeah.
That's essentially the look.
Yeah.
Then you just take out that little.
The
line
little, yeah, the
corner.
extras.
Is that what you're thinking?
One or the other, not necessarily both, but
Okay.
Balance it. Both.
Yeah, I like both now.
We can do that, and I mean, the because I like the orange, and that's kind of a different color for maybe the dancer to add different colors within. You just got me thinking on the fills there.
I'm sorry.
So like, no worries.
I don't feel the need to have a ton of colors.
Okay.
That was clean.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
there's a beauty to simplicity.
And then if you want to throw in a splash of green, just do the note.
Okay. So so we're
Would
saying
you like
that.
to? Would you like to do the note or the mask?
And that's where I was at, but both.
I
Majority
feel
of the board is okay with that, then I'm certainly okay. But I was just thinking one or the other.
Okay.
And perhaps the notes, because the mask itself is really three colors.
Right.
And that stands out. The note kind of gets buried a little bit off to the side.
okay. So you want it on the note,
Yeah.
be something like that.
Since we don't have a green banknote, I guess we'll have to. do the music.
Okay. Any other thoughts? I like the script opposed to the.
Mhm.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I think we're close. Okay.
Okay.
Would the board like to propose a logo for approval?
I wonder if there's any other opinions from folks. I mean, I just kind of like to bring it out. I mean, I'm talking about even from you guys, anybody out there in regards to, because I mean, unless you consider ourselves to be artistic geniuses and so forth, I just
Well,
be
thank you.
interested. And don't be afraid. I just would be interested in hearing.
Personally, I wouldn't add the green in there. I think it was cleaner than the original.
I like it like that, but I was thinking the mask maybe white in one side and the other one different side too. Two different colors. White is white.
Okay. So thought behind that was, of course, it's the drama, sad and happy. One side of the mask being sad, which was filled in before I had the. So let me bring up the original, just all in blue. So it kind of makes more sense this way, where it would have been a bit more like a black and white type of deal. The sad, the tragedy being in the dark, and then the smile being in the light. That was kind of that approach there. When adding the paint kind of drippings there, it makes it look like it's two-tone just because of the split there. I can make the drip go or stop higher, so that way it's not interrupting the mask that way. I think there's one of the versions that
Actually, I think that helps the mask stand out. When I first looked at the musical note, I didn't see it.
Hmm.
And maybe because I've seen it so many times that
yeah.
it's not obvious.
Yeah, because I can do it where maybe I have the drip either fill it more completely in one or just try to avoid it, so that way it keeps the underbrush area the same color. Yes. So yeah, so that's just kind of a placeholder. I just quickly threw that in there because they wanted to see the note as a different color.
But the triangle would go away.
Yeah, the triangle would go away. I'd smooth it out to the brush shape. Keep them playing. So yeah, well, not necessarily. I mean, we can change the whole building. So if we made the whole building blue, oh, come on, or sorry, green. That's that one. Oh, that's why. That explains why I didn't get that color. All right. Then we want, so we could do this where the building is green itself and the note can either be remain clear.
I just wonder if the mask was just two colors, white
Mm-hmm.
and black.
Yeah, and like I said, I can do it where I can avoid this part, because what I do is I take a extra shape. I take an extra shape and then I cut part of it one way and cut the other part the other way. And what I can do is just avoid leaching in the mask there, so that way it can be more clear, or just one solid color instead of the two-tone. Because again, like with the essentially tragedy and happiness, it's, you know, one's kind of darker, one's kind of lighter, and it's what we're there.
Melpo and Thalia.
Is that what they are?
Melpo is tragedy and Thalia is comedy.
There you go. Thank you.
I just looked it up on Google a few minutes ago.
Sometimes they blend.
I was going to recommend you to join our theater program.
I'm really good at
Our
Googling
theater class.
things.
Only if you wear a mask.
Okay, we're asking for comments from community staff, people, legal. Okay, what do you guys have any thoughts about? You feel free to say what you think. Yeah.
You talking to me?
The consensus up here is that her arm that is up in the air should probably be longer, because it looks like she doesn't have much of an arm. And then maybe give her a little more natural shape on the arm that's curved, because I can't do that.
A little more bosom.
I don't know how many people you all are starting to offend right now.
Oh, well, that's why I don't want to say anything. But,
It's got to be gender neutral,
oh gosh.
huh? No, don't go there. I'm kidding.
So you're just talking about having a sharper angle at the elbow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks kind of like a Gumby arm right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one I'd have to get into a different program.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not big on the green courthouse.
I kind of like the original thing, maybe with some of those extensions on, some alterations on the arms, but
Mm-hmm.
otherwise, I kind of like the original put up.
And I
Okay.
could live with that. I just wanted to see some additional color and highlights.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So kind of just fixing the arms so that way they're a little bit more realistic and not gumbied. Yeah. And then so for that split tone here on the mask, we just want that one kind of just a solid color then. Instead of that drip coming off the brush.
Is that the original? Is that the first one we looked at now, other than the green?
Yeah.
Yeah. The green is just all I've changed.
It doesn't matter to me whether the mask is two color.
Yeah. I
like
didn't
that.
notice there to be an issue until, we started looking at it. I could tell it was a mask. I could tell what was going on.
Mhm.
Other thoughts? No? Okay.
All right. So I'll fix the arms, and then did we want to do like the green note still, or?
No,
I don't think so.
somebody had a decent idea about the Madera County Arts Authority in green. Are you able to do that right now quickly?
Yeah, show that in green. Where's my text?
If we keep talking about this and somebody's going to suggest a picture of Ray Seibert in those wings on Miller's building.
Oh, no. We ain't doing that.
I thought you volunteered at the last.
So we have green there.
Darker green?
We can make it darker.
Or like a Kelly green?
Kelly green. We do it the quick way.
I'm not sure the green stands out as well as the
Yeah.
black did.
Yeah, that one doesn't. That's
Yeah.
There's a Kelly green.
Kelly green. Kelly green's lighter.
Call that alfalfa green.
I know.
There you go.
I know on our tree logo in the library we used a kind of a shamrock green. That one was a little darker. This one's kind of more of like a shamrock green.
That's too pale. Black is probably better.
Yeah, for the letters, I think black is the best.
Because what we could do too is add a stroke to it where it has a little bit of an outline.
Oh, that stands out.
I'll put the black on it.
So,
You started,
I have a hard time focusing.
okay?
yeah, so there's that, or we can just all effects. Get back
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's better.
What was thought on that? Did you guys want that white space as green instead on the mask?
It looks fine.
So then,
Keep it simple.
no.
Simple sometimes.
You feel there needs to be a splash of green?
No,
No.
I don't think from guidance, it sounds like,
We're thinking just leave it the dark blue, white, black, and
and as I mentioned before, I mean, if you guys want to theme towards different like seasons and stuff like that, we
Yes.
can always
right. When you
switch it
get to St. Patrick's Day, we can pop out the green.
up. Do it more in the green shades and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
look a lot. How big is that logo?
October, different pinks.
Yeah, it's not going to be. Can you make that small?
Sure.
So that might be.
A little hard to see.
Yeah.
That looks good. My only question. Yeah, that.
Okay. So I like for this rendition, I would probably just do the avoiding the splash going all the way down. But also, I mean, I think having the solids as option as well for like different types of branding might be able to get away with that. Where
Yeah,
Some-
mask downs are good there.
yeah, where in some instances you want the full color and you're able to show that off. In other instances, you might want to be using the solid black or the solid white.
Yeah, that looks.
I'll package those up then, and you guys all ready. So that way, if any printer asks for a certain type of file, you guys will have them.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
We can only do that because we don't have Gumby arms.
Well, thank you very much.
Yep,
Great.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
for working with us.
Uh-huh.
Okay, moving on to item 4D, ad hoc committee report. During the last 2 months, we have been doing more work in the downtown area, more exploration work and building commitment among some of our fellow business owners, or some of our business owners downtown. So, are we ready to go with the?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
if I may, on the last item, it seemed as though the authority wanted to approve a particular logo. There was, however, no vote or approval, but it sounded like that's what you meant to do with the clapping. I'm not sure if you wanted to ask for a
Well,
vote on
there's
that
a-
item or
okay.
just come back.
Come back.
And then we'll have official approval
Yeah.
at the next meeting. Okay? Did you guys get that? Okay, now we're at, here we go. So, our Arts Authority has a feasibility and action plan, and we've been working in action plan area number 1 and some in number 3. Number 1 being defining and implementing small-scale public arts projects, considering things that are art-related and non-art related, but all with the idea of drawing people downtown and strengthening our community events and fostering more of them. And we're beginning to see some excitement and interest among people in Madera and business owners downtown, which is, I think, a good start for us. Layton's had an empty wall, and they now have the wings, I don't know if it's completely finished yet. They still have some more work to do. I drove by it today and looked like he still has some markings. So this, though, has caused some of the other business owners to perk up and begin to think about what they might do. We have brought in several business owners from like 2 or 3 from downtown to have just a small session on who do you know who might be interested in, and what would it take to get businesses to consider a mural. From that little brainstorming session, we found out that Tijuana Bar and Grill wishes to do a mural with his renovated property, and that's right down the alley from the Layton's one. He loves the idea of cleaning up the alley and having activities down there. He's all for it, and he is willing to, that's the owner of Tijuana Bar and Grill, and he is willing to talk to the people next door to him who share that kind of alcove space with him about whether they would be interested in doing a mural project in their area. He also owns the old Frankie's Bar building on the other side of Tijuana Bar and Grill and could be interested in doing some things there in that part of the block. So he seems to be all in. And then, oh, there they are. Okay. He is thinking about his own mural and has a muralist that he's thinking about there and wants to make it sort of a neighborhood garden theme of a restaurant in his area. And I think that would be appropriate for what he's trying to do. And he's getting ready to go on that. Then we had someone else there who told us about this building, which you might recognize was the old building that had Raoul's Barbershop in it, right next to the
by the railroad track.
right next to the railroad tracks, and it has a very nice wall on the side of it. The new owner may be interested in being approached to do a mural on that wall, which could be considered, if we wanted to have the very large Madera kind of mural, like the postage stamp in Fresno, kind of a welcome to downtown kind of mural, that would be a possibility there if he's interested. But the person we talked to thought he might well be interested in at least some sort of mural project there. And that's a key to opening downtown. And then we were contacted by another Madera business owner down Yosemite, next to, where the laundromat, the cleaners is down there towards Olive Avenue. He has a business there, and he's interested in putting a mural up on his building. And he's thinking of a theme of all of the community service programs and organizations that help keep Madera going, enrich our community. And so he's thinking that he might be interested in doing a mural like that. So we're getting different kinds of ideas about murals and different businesses thinking about murals. We had at that little meeting, we had Debbie Bray from the chamber. She suggested that we could consider asking the chamber to go to the city council if we wanted to have a mural district, define a mural district in downtown, that they would be willing to go to the chamber and ask, go to the city council and ask the city council to approve a mural district with some kind of format and ways of getting things approved and, all that kind of detail work that would go with a mural district. And then that would give us a couple of things that would give us some form to the whole thing and some sort of regulation or kind of ways that people might think about what would be acceptable and what not in terms of murals. And then they have the business owners in the chamber, so they have the ability to help business owners find their way to mural projects for their buildings. So they could be a conduit for us if we would like to have the chamber do that. Um, but having an official formed mural district then could also bring in grant money for us, I think, in terms of forming it and in terms of getting money. So that's kind of what's happening with the murals right now. Oh, and then one other thing is all the business owners, Debbie suggested that we send out an official note to all of the business owners, building owners downtown, to make sure they all knew about this possibility and what we're trying to do. And then we could go ahead and feel comfortable approaching individual business owners about what they would do in their own buildings, but also send something out to everybody. So that's easy for us to do because we know the owners.
So they can more business participate, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that'd be great.
Yes.
So everybody knows, they're not ignored, so everybody's invited.
Right. Right.
That'd be good. Good idea.
And then we can begin to put, you can have groups in Madera who don't have a wall but have an interest in advertising their culture, heritage, background, something. That could be included there. And then they might fund it. If they're like a particular club or organization that wants to indicate they do something, then maybe they're going to fund that mural. But funding is the other issue. Apparently paint is expensive.
I was looking at Layton's wall.
Yeah.
And it looks like he should have, painted that wall before he put the wings on.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah, and I think any building, you're going to put a mural on, you got to, recondition that wall, paint it or whatever before you start putting a mural up.
Mm-hmm. Because now if he's going to go back and paint the wall, now he's got to paint around the mural.
Yeah.
And the whole background for it. We're learning a lot. Okay, so our plan is, in terms of murals, to have a kickoff when the mural is done, have an event or part of an event where people come, we do what everyone does, take our pictures in front of the mural, and then indicate that we have others who are also getting on board. So if other business people or organizations want to get involved in murals, we'd be happy to, bring them on board with us. So we're anxious to get this mural up and running.
If you're going to do murals downtown, you're talking about all these projects. What's the city's plan for downtown? I mean, a lot of those buildings probably need to be replaced or refurbished. And then I've heard that a lot of the property owners don't want to put money into them because they don't get enough rent. I like things done in a system way to where when you're done, you're done. You're not going to go back and you turn things down and after you've done all this work and all this planning. So downtown's got to be planned. To me, it gets complicated.
Yes, that's why we're staying away from Main Street, because that project's not done yet. If we get over to 6th Street, then we have open alley parking lot space. But we do need to know what the city is thinking.
And some of these businesses, they're going to need plenty of parking too. So you got to look at the parking issue. Like Tijuana Grill there, I don't know what time of day he's got his business and stuff.
Well, right now, he's the only one get popular. More people go over there.
Yeah. Across the street, you got
But we
another
need
one.
the other one next to the treaty store by C Street in Yosemite.
Mm.
There should be a restaurant too, or whatever the other bar was next to Tijuana, next going that way, the corner of C Street. So hopefully can get more live.
Right.
All of us. All of
Whatever the answer is, it ain't going to come soon. So this mural project is relatively inexpensive, and certainly I would hope would draw some interest to downtown and facilitate the answer to the bigger question.
Oh, did I just turn off the? Oh, yeah. Okay. And then Mr. Wieland has been involved with the courthouse project. So you could give us a little update on that. You want me to show these slides first?
The next two slides would be helpful, pages 30 and 31,
Uh-huh.
at least on the bottom part. So what we're looking at now is what I understand to be an illustration of the potential for phase two. The one right after it is more in line with phase one, generally speaking. So right now, the county's project is really a phase one project. The county is applying for funds from another grant. The deadline to apply is sometime this December. County hopes to hear yay or nay relative to the funding for the second grant by spring of next year, March-ish, I think. And with a little bit of luck, or maybe a lot of luck, if that second grant is funded, then regardless of whether technically speaking phase one will have an alternative design to it, which will actually be phase two, or whether it's phase one and then meld immediately into phase two. If there's a phase one and phase two that's done, either jointly or one right after another, then the preceding picture would be, generally speaking, what we're talking about. So to be a little bit less dense, the consultant's view is that the design of the courthouse park area is about 98% done. And if we just stay right there, some decisions have yet to be made, like right in the middle where you see what could be a bandstand. Question is, there is an existing structure in the park. Does that structure become modified, or is it torn down and replaced with something brand new that necessarily will affect the cost? You see these 4 10-foot wide concrete sidewalks leading to what I'll refer to as the center of the park with that bandstand. That's a phase one. You see these rectangles on each of the 4 spokes or sidewalks. That is to facilitate uses like we saw last month during the Old Timers Parade, where vendors are allowed to put up their pop-ups. The pop-ups would share space in these rectangles so that they'd be on the concrete as opposed to in the grass area. You don't see too many trees here. In the prior drawing, see many more trees. There are at least a half a dozen different varieties, species that are part of the project to provide shade and, of course, to look good for as many months as possible during the year. You see the playground off to what I'll just say as we look at it to our right. That's closest to the existing old courthouse, county building, now Historical Society. The parking lot that has been there for a long time will be expanded to some extent. It'll move towards Yosemite Avenue with the addition of about 12 parking spaces, because the building that generally used to be where the old county jail was, as we all know, has been removed. So there's more space there, and this plan will add 12 parking spaces to the parking lot. And it will also make it, this expansion of the parking area, it'll make it easier for those who need to use the old courthouse, like the Historical Society, and get into the southeast corner basement door in order to take stuff in and take stuff out. With the expansion, a little bit of the parking lot, it'll help facilitate that for the usage of that, not public usage. Historical Society, make it more functional for them. If you remember, there's kind of a granite partial wall made out of granite blocks that are there, which interferes with the ability to egress and ingress through the basement door of the old courthouse. But in general, the architect thinks, not the architect, the consultant, is of the opinion that design is 98% there. And the question becomes, will the county be successful in getting second related grant to actually complete the project? If the answer is no, I don't know what the answer is, but trying to be optimistic. Where there's a will, there's a way. This won't happen necessarily next year. But if both grants are fully funded, we could see a fully functional park by the end of next year.
Great. Thank you. We also have these little pop-ups, pop-outs, one on each corner, where they're planning on us having their seating area, and then there could be some public art in those areas, statues and things like that. Okay, well, thank you. Next we have dumpster art. I think this might be a great project for the schools to be involved with. We got approval from Madera Valley Disposal to go ahead with the dumpster art project. So that's great, because if we don't color up those dumpsters, it's always gonna look ugly. So that could be a great addition to our mural area and downtown event space. But I think it could be something really fun for the school kids to be involved with. So we'll be talking to the school district about that as well. That'll probably need a theme or some kind of way of approaching it, and it's good. So it needs some organization and a plan for how that's going to begin to happen. But Valley Disposal says, have fun. So that's great.
How many of these dumpsters going to be in?
Well, he said start with a few and see what it, how it goes, and then you can add on to it. But just in the block between D and Street, there's probably 20 of these dumpsters. So there's lots of them. Lots to start with. Okay.
Yeah.
And then powwow. Oh, we did not have the meeting. We didn't make the connection last week like we intended to. This is the group that comes in and helps you organize your artists and your possible mural projects, and helps orchestrate your event so that you can be successful with your artwork. So we wanted to talk to those folks, but we didn't make the connection last week, so we'll continue with them. I wanted to show you, this is Modesto, close to home.
Beautiful right there.
They have Domo, downtown Modesto. And they have a partnership, and their group that orchestrates an annual festival of murals, and they have another part of their group that organizes and keeps track of the activities in the downtown area. Both things we're thinking about having, so I think this might be a group we would want to talk to. They've been at this for 3 years, since 2018. And so I think they might have some information for us. And as you know, Modesto was pretty plain, and now it's building up. They're getting more restaurants, cafes, things to do and all. This is another example of an art project. And they bring in muralists from, I guess, all over the world to work on their murals. And they have a big festival so people can come and watch it being done and be involved in it. I don't know how to do this. Toledo, Ohio, of all places, is thought about as one of the ugliest towns in Ohio. And one of the reasons was they had these pretty ugly silos of gray. I'm babbling because we got to get through the commercial. And so they took it upon, a group in town took it upon themselves to color up the silos and do a mural on them. And they then figured out that brought life to Toledo. People started thinking, wow, this is cool. And so people started donating money to making that happen in Toledo, Ohio. So I just wanted to show you.
Tracy Smith this morning has a
Can
story
you-
that will
can
have
you
you
go
saying,
fast?
"Holy Toledo." Toledo, Ohio is known for a few things, like glass products, the Mud Hens, and maybe
The
that
mural's
song
about the
by
last
John Denver.
5 minutes down.
On a
For the 6 minutes.
picture-perfect
Okay, there's the ugly silos.
from small-time
Okay.
donors,
Now can you zoom?
but the organized
Here they are
thousands
painting.
square feet of gray concrete. And paint
$750,000 was
The silos
donated
owners,
because
Dr.
this
Daniel
takes
Midland
a
Company,
lot
put up
of
some
paint.
money.
Yeah.
But the organizers
And
still
a young man
raised
from
around
Southern California, I think,
$750,000.
was chosen
Toledo
to do this
pitched in,
project,
from
and he
small-time
basically
donors
said,
to
you
just
know,
about every big business in
I really
town.
like the idea of doing it. And
LA
then
artist Gabriel
here he
Gold
is.
stepped up.
And then when he picked me, I said, wow. Then I realized I need a lot of help.
Portrait guy.
Because this is
Biggest
big.
silos, he saw this. 3 Native American faces, each
So
over
they did
100
3
feet
Native
tall,
American
a tribute to
people
the original
because
farmers of
they
the
were
land.
the original farmers.
And for the rest of
okay.
it,
This
Gabe
is a
chose
Midwestern
something that
theme.
grows practically
They
everywhere
did
in the
sunflowers
Midwest.
because all across the
Sunflowers,
Midwest
a
there are
symbol of hope
sunflowers.
that he hoped
They try to
would
tie it to the
brighten the
agriculture of the area and the shipping that goes through.
as blue as a perfect
And then it was a
summer
monster
sky.
paint job.
You ever done
Already
anything
done?
close to this scale?
It's almost.
Never.
Uh,
Couldn't even imagine it.
Blue, so it's,
All
There we
through
go.
the summer,
It's a good
and in
color.
all kinds of weather, a team
I like
of
blue a lot, so
modern-day Michelangelos
all kind of
turned
blues.
the gray concrete into a soaring monument to the city and to
Oh,
themselves.
all right.
But this was like,
Organizer
the
Brandy
paint, they talk
Alexander
about how expensive the
We're not in
paint
the
was,
sexiest town
project.
in the world. We
Most
recognize
expensive
that. We're
part
not
of the
even
project.
sexy by Ohio
Yeah.
standards.
And, but then, but she said, if you want it to be done, you can get it done. And they got donations for all of it from the city of,
No city and private
Yeah.
combination.
not the city,
5 months
I mean,
of work,
people who live there.
3,000
Yeah.
gallons of paint. One big idea.
and it look
I
nice.
know you're onto something.
So I don't think we're gonna
Say
start
it
that
out
big a
loud.
scale.
Everybody says, why didn't we always do
Yeah,
that?
first we'd have to put water into Fresno River so we
Hero
could.
is not finished, but it's
Well, first we
already
did a water
the
project, but it's cool, huh?
Toledo
Yeah.
And I think everybody would like that.
of the possible.
Yeah, the sunflowers look
What do you
good over
hope
there with the
ultimately
blue.
that people take from this?
Definitely, yeah.
I think people can recognize that they
Yeah.
can do
Those dumpsters you're talking about.
Okay, you can.
Why doesn't the city use a compressor where you compress the trash? Have one dumpster. That everybody, instead of having all these dumpsters all over the place. Let them look into something like that. Like at Madera High School, we've got to put in a dumpster where you can compress everything, and you don't have to have so many dumpsters around.
I guess is downtown, it's because every individual store owner has to have their own,
Yeah,
dumpster.
yeah, but if
If they all paid into.
they
the
all paid into it,
community.
and you got a big enough dumpster for them, they can press all the cardboard boxes and everything else. And I don't know, maybe they got to separate it, maybe because they got to do all the separating different items.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I think Mead Valley is the one collect the garbage, and the cardboard is a different company.
Yeah, it's like the cardboard. They usually bale those. They compress those.
Right.
They maybe need two or three different big bins instead of all the little ones. Although I don't, maybe the store owners won't like that, but it might clean up. I don't know what it looks like down there, but it might clean
Doesn't look
things
good.
up.
Okay. So that's what we've been doing in the last couple of months. And I feel like there's some energy now in town already. There's a thing called Madera Informed and Madera Memories that are on Facebook. And there's people popping up now saying, what about food trucks? What about activities downtown? What about, gathering some activities and getting going downtown? And that's all refreshing to hear. So I think we can find people who are going to be interested in getting involved and helping with downtown. And then this Friday, there's a pop-up in the park. So I thought that was impressive that someone is organized and has gotten out and asked for vendors and things. It's a folkloric, I think, a theme. And so it'll be Friday night in the park. So I think, as we have winter time to think about it now, but as we get closer to spring, it's going to be nice if we have some people who start thinking about, doing some activities, and maybe we've got some spaces for them to do it in.
So the flea market is not in the park no more? It used to be the flea market. No?
The flea market in the park?
Or something?
Farmer's market.
Farmer's market.
There it goes.
It hasn't been in the park in a couple of years.
Oh,
There's a
okay.
farmer's market out at the hospital, but we don't have one in center of.
Yeah, but they were down a few years ago, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, Rob, do you have any other comments from our ad hoc committee?
No, I think you covered it all. Thank you.
And if anybody would like to go with us and get involved when we talk to Powwow or Modesto, just let me know or let Nick know, and we'll do that.
At the risk of amazing myself, hearing you say this, Nick, I'd like to go to Modesto.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Cool.
Let me know.
Okay. Okay, Nick, we're going to Modesto. Let's wait till the rain stops. Oh, tomorrow.
We have, our council has a comment.
Oh, just whether there's public comment on that item before you move on. Thank
No,
you.
we will. Yes. Okay. Now, so that's what we've been doing. Anybody from the community, public? Okay. Anybody else from the board? Okay. Well, we'll keep moving and have another update and hopefully some action pretty soon. Next item is member and staff reports. I believe our legal has a staff report.
Thank you, Chair. I'll go first. Just wanted to let you know last month with the logo discussion, I started to ponder trademark or copyright of the logo, just in case the Arts Authority wants to protect use of that logo either now or in the future. It goes back to Government Code Section 6509, which requires in our JPAs to state the particular power out of all the members, which is designated as the lead agency. And this did come up previously when we talked about whether we needed to RFP or request for proposal, request for qualifications in terms of the consultant that was used for the feasibility plan. And I just wanted to let you know, having looked at the powers or the JPA agreement, section 2.04 provides a section that talks about the powers of the authority, and it essentially says that this authority is authorized as necessary under the actions of whatever the board is that sits at that time. So the reason that that's a little bit too vague in terms of trademarking or copyright is that school districts have the authority to copyright and trademark their logo. You can do it at the state. It's a little bit cheaper, like $70 versus with the feds, versus counties, which the state hasn't given that authority to. And it's because our JP is a little bit vague, so is the ability to trademark or copyright the logo. So I kind of just stopped there. As you might have seen in the pre-bills, I actually didn't bill any of my time, just the associates who looked at it, and wanted to give you just a status report of, we looked into it. Our JPA section 2.04 is a little bit vague. And so in terms of moving forward and being able to copyright or trademark it, it would cost a little bit. Whether it's necessary or not is up to you at this point, whether anyone's going to go around and use the logo and put it on anything. But it is just something that crossed my mind as you're putting this together, and something for this authority to think about going forward. There would be a loose end that would need to be tied up, but absolutely not legally necessary at this point. Just when somebody does try to use it, you'll turn to your legal counsel and say, how do we tell them to stop doing that? Because it comes up. And there is a way to do it, but of course you have more teeth when it's trademarked with the state or the Fed. So usually low cost, don't want to add to legal expenses now, just something to think about when you want to direct either staff or me to go forward. We can do that.
Could we put this on the next agenda as an item for the board to discuss and provide direction?
Yes. Let's do it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Other staff, board reports?
Madam Chair, I'd just like to mention that our board member and also council member Villegas ran the last city council meeting. And so congratulations for doing that. And then I also like to mention that this Wednesday night at 6:15, we have a virtual town hall about economic development in Madera, primarily the city and the region around us, not out on 1 or 41. So it's going to be, I think it's really going to be interesting, and a lot of people have been asking about different retailers, and you know, it used to be 25 years ago, if we only had a Sizzler, man, this would be the place to come. And of course, you know, nobody talks about Sizzler anymore. Now it's Costco and Target and Dutch Brothers and In-N-Out. And man, if we had those, we'd be like none other, you know. But so we want to talk about those things and why we do and why we don't. And we're going to be featuring Bobby Kahn, our Economic Development Director, as well. So that's this Wednesday night, 6:15, virtual town hall.
Thank you. Thank you
And
for
that
doing
information is on the county website, how to dial in.
Mr. Salinas, as far as information, as far as how to dial in for the EDC for our town hall this Wednesday.
Good evening, Madam Chair and members of the board. Nick Salinas, District 3 Chief of Staff. We've put out some information on social media, and what I'll be sure to do is share that with the board members directly here after the meeting.
Good, thank you.
I don't do
6:15
social
minutes.
media, and I mean that seriously.
There'll be phone information too for you to call in as well to join the meeting.
We just need to address it's a Zoom. isn't
It's
it?
a link.
It's a link and or a phone call.
Right.
So
But
I'll
if you're
send.
but if you're not on Facebook, you don't get the link. So
Yeah, so I'll send it to
send it
you
to us.
directly.
thank you. And
How many people here, my colleagues, don't do social media?
I do it sometimes. Not too often, but I do it.
Okay.
Also, I have another comment. Yeah, I was appointed to conduct the city council meeting because the mayor is sick. And I don't know if it's going to be, we have a special meeting on Thursday this week. So if he's not available, he's still sick, I have to do it. It's my obligation. So I have no choice. So go ahead and do it.
Well, that's
I
great.
have to do it.
He's got a great backup, so great job.
and you learn by doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As I found out.
Thank you for that.
It,
I
it,
do to learn and everything.
it
So.
looks easier than it is.
All right. Thank you.
Good luck to you.
All right. Thank you.
You mentioned the thing Wednesday night, and I'm glad you did. And you mentioned Bobby Kahn, and I've been thinking for a while about how we could interact, or should we interact, with the Economic Development Commission and Bobby Kahn over downtown specifically.
I would say that's probably not in his job description. And the only reason I'm saying that, I'm the chairman of the board this year of the EDC, and I know that that's something. The EDC, their mission, primary mission, is more working with attracting business and industry and supporting existing industry and so forth. And I think that if we, it would be something, if we got it started, he could certainly promote. But I don't think that, that would be something that would be in the mission of the EDC. And they've got limited resources too.
Yes, I'm thinking about the attracting, when you try to attract a business industry to Madera, for example, then they're looking to see what kind of town they're moving into and what services and support are going to be there for families who are going to work at the plant. And I was thinking that was the nexus downtown.
Yeah, and I
He
think,
doesn't really look at it that.
well, and I think once we got something going, once we got something established, that would certainly be a sales, thing that he could use. But until that time, I don't think he's got the time or the, it just
It's
doesn't
not
have
in
the,
his area.
yeah,
Okay.
it's just not in that thing. And, most of the people that he would attract, they're looking at medical, they're looking at schools. The big thing for a lot of these people are the schools. They're the six-figure people, and they can live anywhere. So you really, that's going to be the number one thing if they have kids, as far as versus, but the art scene would be something that he could promote once it is established.
Okay. Okay, anything else? Then, Nick?
Madam Chair, if I may, Nick Sleen is District 3 Chief of Staff. Based on the feedback on today's logo, my thought process was we were planning to utilize that logo for social media purposes, and I think that may be an item the board may need to consider bringing back to allow us to have a social media account to begin promoting our events, promoting our art, and keeping the community abreast of all the great work that you guys are doing here.
Great, perfect. So you want to put that on the next?
Please,
You're saying there's people out there that use social media?
just a couple.
Yeah. The misnamed social media.
The people who are going to be coming downtown, okay? They use social media. Okay, if there's no other action tonight, then this meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ladies. No.
Great. Do I need to sign? I'll give you a